Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Left Hook. I am your host, Mark Bland, and I appreciate every single one of you out there joining me here at KRLL or WIBH, depending on where you're at, every single Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We go on for an hour. We talk politics, independent politics, and pop culture. We are called The Left Hook, and I am your host, Mark Bland. Welcome to the show. We've got a big show today because it's my birthday show, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-hoo. That's right. 50 years old. I've been around this planet for half of a century. Right. And I am joined today by none other than the person that when I started my 40s, I had no idea he would become my co-host.
No.
But that year, we ran into each other and conversation turned into relationship and then becoming friends, doing broadcasting until we got to where we're at today. And that is one Mr. Jason Kull. He's here today.
Members of the Big 50 Club.
That's right. Members of the big
Club. You know
50s.
What? It stops right there. It doesn't actually ever get any worse. It just, that's it.
That's as good as it gets, or that's as bad as it gets?
That's as bad as it gets to me. It stopped then. It never really got any worse. Everything's just about the same.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe that's going for you. Okay, can I ask you, all right. So I just turned 50.
Yep.
And I was taking a little stock in my life, because when you turn 50, it is a half a century. And most people don't live to be over 100 years old.
No. We're definitely halfway through this. But you can do a lot in a short amount of time, though.
If that's the case, Jason.
Yes.
You're now on the back side, right? The
That's
first
true.
50 would be the front side.
Right, we're on hole 11.
So we're on the back side and we're moving down. And by the way, coming up the mountain, there are things that happen that are just as unpleasant as probably what you're going to witness going down the mountain. But at the same point, you know that going down the mountain is a different game. Remember, coming up the mountain started with, you had no idea that this world existed, and then you came shooting out of a vagina somewhere, or a C-section or something, and boom, you're here, and you're at an AC/DC concert, and it's wicked loud, and they're playing Freebird, and you're loving it.
You're like, huh?
Little nod there to Talladega Nights. With that being stated, I was doing a little stock on that first 50.
I hear you.
And, at the beginning of my 40s, right before my 40s started, I took a little stock, not in my 30s, but more in the idea of, I'm going to be 40 years old. That's what they typically consider over the hill, right? You know what I'm saying? But once I hit 50, I knew the halfway mark was legit. That's like hitting the South Pole. There's only going up from here. There's only going to the North Pole from here. So, I was taking a little stock in those 40s, and I was thinking about, our relationship. I was thinking about the fact that we had been working in broadcasting for all these years, and we started with nothing going on, just me doing my little political show and you jumping on here and there, and then working on a little opportunity at the Romantic over here, and a little opportunity with this station over there, and then this station, all these little things along the way until we got to where we were at with Occupy and all the things that we're doing as I ended those 40s. And so now the 50s are here, and I'm very bright-eyed in the idea of what I hope the 50s are.
They're fantastic. You know what? Think about this. Sammy Hagar is 79.
Yes.
So in 29 years, if you're doing what Sammy's doing, that's not bad.
Sammy's got it a little easier, though, Jay.
He's got some genes on him or something.
I'm not saying that it's not. Well, there could be some genes to it, but also, it's a lot easier of a life.
Yeah,
when you got the money. When I'm just saying, when you got the money and you can kind of be on vacation all the time if you'd like.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying.
That probably helps quite.
Whereas people like me and you at age 50 in the Midwest who aren't famous, we're literally working on trying to keep money coming in so that we can keep a roof over our head.
We got real stress.
We got stress.
Sammy's stress is like Radica tequila.
I'm so mad that Dave wore that stupid leotard again.
We ran out of tequila. Now I have to go to sleep. I was going to stay up for 2 hours.
Why do I have to open for Dave? Why can't he open for me? I don't get it. Like, all the big problems that Sammy Hagar has. Why can't every city be like St. Louis? I don't know, Sammy.
You know
I don't understand
that there are things that you could say are wives' tales or urban legends, but two are 100% true. St. Louis loves Sammy Hagar.
Yep.
And Rush.
Oh yeah.
They right do. There. Like we do at least they used to. Casey used to do a March Madness style bracket.
Yeah.
It was either Sammy Hagar or Rush every other year.
Yeah.
This was like depending on who they liked,
now,
where they met in the tourney.
Now I will say that St. Louis is weird in their love of things. Like, I think that it's very... St. Louis is a fickle town. Yeah. Like, listen, I'm not knocking St. Louis. I love my town that I come from. It's a good town. Listen, me and Jason have raised families here. We understand it's a good town, and we do appreciate and love the town. I feel that there are just certain things about St. Louis, and our broadcasting careers, I just brought that up, is a perfect example. Like, we have tons of news radio stations in town. They're constantly looking. Listen, if any of them had someone in the aura of hosting the Fox News morning show like a Pete Hegseth was, if that was anyone in the orbit of St. Louis that was on there, they would, oh my God, we need to have so-and-so on for a special every week on Wednesdays for 15 minutes. We've got to have them every week because we need it. No, and you got two guys right here who ate at the top of the food chain with the big dogs, talking politics on the liberal and moderate side, and they respect us. They post our stuff. They push it out there. They let people know about us still to this day, to right now, this moment. And unfortunately, St. Louis is like, oh, I guess those guys aren't good at talking politics to anyone about anything. It's like, really? You just took a guy with a podcast and you said that he was a authority on something, and I know... Most of us couldn't even name the street he lives on, much less know who he is.
You know, some people probably go, huh, when you say, like, the moderate liberal.
Sure.
But I guarantee, between you and I, each show goes after more Democrats than Hannity, Ingram, Levin, all of them combined goes after Republicans.
You and me have definitely torn into
go after Democrats.
Democrats.
Totally. And they do not. And if they do,
and by the way,
it's the agreed upon one or two that they decide to.
And you know what? Listen, like I said, it is a birthday show, but we are still a political radio show.
There's politics happening.
We still talk politics, and there's a lot going on right now. And I want you guys to understand, we can transition very easily here because Donald Trump is on one. And that's all I'm going to say. He is on one. Remember, like, you used to say your friend's on one, and it was just like, step back, because this could either end. Usually it was going to end in a glorious train wreck, which we can see what's happening with Trump.
Fire trail.
Hey, listen, he's already alienated all the allies. We talked about it on every show.
Right.
The Iran stuff is still not getting fixed.
They're openly telling him no.
Everyone's openly telling him no. They're turning their backs on him. Guys, it's coming to an end. We're going to talk about it here in a minute. Pam Bondi's gone. He's like literally, he's now going to start lashing out towards people around him because he can't force Iran and others to respect him. And now all of a sudden his fever dreams of owning land and conquering places like Vladimir Putin told him in their meeting isn't going well. Because he can't touch every part of the earth like he used to be able to when he had the UN and NATO on his side.
Right.
And so now nobody thinks that he's a tough guy.
Well,
and now his Board of Peace hasn't gone out and done any conquering. So now those guys are looking at him like, oh, maybe we signed up and gave a bunch of money to a liar.
They're trying to like recoup their $3 billion or whatever they had to pay. They're like back home trying to figure out a way to raise money.
Right. This is not a good situation for these guys. And Trump is sitting at the top of this heap of trash with nothing to show for it. And guys, there's a lot going on. That's what I said.
You hear those people on the right bash NATO, but they don't understand. Article 5 only applies to being attacked, not you starting a war with Israel.
That's right.
And then we come to your aid when they bomb your base. No. We started it. We're on our own.
The UN and NATO are for defense only.
Yes,
that's it. They're for defense.
They're
designed for defense. So somebody has to be purposely attacking someone else. The defense in this situation, The defense would technically be Iran calls NATO to come help them defend against America blowing them up. And I know you're sitting there going, well, how dare you say that? But that's literally what's happening. That's literally what it is. You guys want to argue about what's going on thousands of miles away where you can't see it either. But the problem is you're not as researched and as educated as a lot of others who do this, like me and Jason, for a living. And so, like, okay.
Yes.
Let me start here, Jay.
Yes.
Just let's just go here for one quick second, okay? And we'll jump from this point. Donald Trump just bragged about committing war crimes against civilian targets in an absolutely abhorrent Truth Social rant, ladies and gentlemen. Today, American warplanes destroyed the, I think it's Azamain Bridge that links Tehran to the city of Karaj, okay? It's a vital piece of civilian infrastructure.
Yes.
That cuts down the travel time between the cities from about an hour to like 10 minutes or something like that. That's great. That's great. If you went from an hour to 10 minutes, that's a great save. That's a great save. Like Jason's like we've dealt with traffic. That's a great
gas
save.
Gas is expensive now. So.
Yeah, it is. You saved me 50 minutes of gas.
Right? Ooh.
But Trump, having been unable to beat the Iranians militarily, is now resorting to committing war crimes by bombing civilian targets. And even has the gall to boast about it, ladies and gentlemen, because he says the biggest bridge in Iran comes tumbling down, never to be used again. Much more to follow. It is time for Iran to make a deal before it is too late, and there is nothing left of what still could become a great country. President Donald J. Trump.
Oh, boy.
These are the acts of a desperate coward, Jason.
You know,
these are like flailing about and trying to find some way to bully his opponent into submission. He's too stupid to realize he's just made another huge mistake. That's it.
What makes me, I wonder, do MAGA sitting around the house talking to Ma, do they ever wonder why, if they obliterated Iran in June, why is Iran so close to getting a weapon now?
Jay, I just walked into a problem.
Yes.
Let me explain.
Yeah.
And I love your question.
Yeah.
I want you, well, let's answer your question. Your question was, why?
Remember, we obliterated it in June. We
obliterated it, so it's nothing. They'll never have it again.
Well, just the other day.
Why is it still around?
Just the other day. They were 2 weeks away. I'm telling you guys, they were 2 weeks away from getting a bomb, and it would have been terrible. Like, what? How is that? How could they?
Now, I just walked into it. You see, here in America, I made a comment on one of the first episodes of The Left Hook, and I said, you know what, America? What Donald Trump and the Republicans don't understand, it wasn't that they were unwilling to release the Epstein files during Joe Biden's presidency. It wasn't that they were unwilling to do this or that with these people or those people. You were being treated with a very lenient hand by the Democrats. We were being lenient with you.
Yeah.
We were allowing certain things to fall in place, due process properly, to go through, to make sure everything was handled in a proper way. I mean, this is where the January 6th stuff comes through. And then your guy came through like a bull in a china shop, and it was just all executive orders and nothing with Congress, and it was a bunch of BS and crap. And see, we were being lenient with you, but like Nick Fuentes says...
yeah, he's very against you now.
Let me tell you, Nick Fuentes says that if the liberals get back into power, they're going to murder you. They're going to chase you down and get you at your house. That's what he says to you.
Oh, my gosh. He's like a chatbot.
This is what they say to you. This is what their powerful Charlie Kirk-like people, Joe Rogan, not saying Joe Rogan said this. This is what Nick Fuentes said.
Yeah.
But... I've got Joe Rogan saying that they're all dorks and losers now.
Yeah.
I've got Nick Fuentes saying, well, after the first term, I was never MAGA anymore, and I wasn't going to be. But you spent 4 years of Joe Biden tearing down Joe Biden, Democrats and everybody else, and saying that the Jews this and the blah, 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 that. And now that Donald Trump's in there making you guys all look like crap.
Yes.
Nick, you don't want to wear that MAGA hat no more, but homie, you need to put your MAGA underwear on because we don't look at you any different.
You know, the fact that Joe Biden didn't bring out the files just proves that what they say about lawfare, that Donald Trump was treated unfairly, isn't true.
It's just not true.
Because they could have done that. They didn't. Because they had no reason to. Why would they do that?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break here on the show. When we come back, more with myself and Jason Kull on my birthday show. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to The Left Hook. Mark Bland, Jason Kull, hanging out with you on this Saturday. We appreciate you guys taking the busy time out of your schedule to join us. We love talking syndicated politics.
I do.
We do. We really do. And there's so much going on in this world. But, Jason, I've got to play something for you and everyone out there because I think that if I don't play this for you, it's going to be, well, it's going to be very sad. All right, Jay? Are you ready? Okay. Now, the person that I'm going to play is a sportscaster by the name of Stephen A. Smith. Okay?
Oh, boy.
Now, let's all take a listen to our friend Stephen and
suddenly he's
what he has to say. No. Let's take a listen.
What I'm asking you, as American citizens in the United States of America, do you or do you not have a problem with birthright citizenship? I do. There's a lot going on in this country, and there's a lot of evidence that gives people cause to pause and make them scared of the state of affairs that exist in our nation. How do you resolve that? If you're just letting people walk in, especially people who intentionally cross the border legally just to give birth to someone, to a kid on American soil, to ensure that they're American citizens. Remember, it was originally, the 14th Amendment originally came into play to ensure that enslaved people brought to this country forcibly would be American citizens. But the language was vague and everybody got to use it to their advantage. And what the president is saying now is, it wasn't meant for everybody. Would I handle things differently if I were the president? You're damn right I would. Do I think he's done a lot of things wrong? You're damn right I do. But not everything. And I just had to say that about birthright citizenship.
Okay. So you said
so good for me, but not for thee.
Right. Once again, we're back to the good for me, not for thee type of people.
My people can use it, but not your people.
And
what a dick.
Can we start?
I hate him now.
Well, don't say words like that on the radio, Jason.
He's so ridiculous. He's always putting himself out there trying to make some sort of controversy.
Here's the problem. I've got a couple of issues here. And my biggest issue that I have right now is Stephen A. Smith himself.
He's ridiculous.
I'm not saying that Stephen A. Smith isn't allowed to be an adult in America and have an opinion about politics at all.
Of course.
And I'm not saying that he doesn't have the right to have a microphone and record himself and put it out there for everybody to hear it. But what I am going to say is stay in your lane. How about that?
Yeah.
You do sports. I'm not saying you can't talk politics, but like I'm in an actual sports hall of fame locally in this area in St. Louis, in a major town. I mean I can talk sports, but I probably can't do it as well as you can. But I've got the merit, the credibility of the sports background. Like this is my problem is that everything Stephen does, he doesn't seem to have the merit and the credibility and the background for it. Like I've heard the story of him telling people that he shot a bunch of three-pointers in a row and set some record in front of a bunch
basketball players.
But he did it in front of a bunch of NBA players.
Oh, all right.
When they were when he was in college or something like that.
Okay.
And I've heard that it's just not a true story. And I've heard he's changed the number of shots and stuff. Well, and I don't know, but it's just like if you have to tell me a story from that long ago, that's kind of crazy.
So if he wants to get into politics, I will give him some free advice. Try to look less hypocritical. Try to not. The only reason you're a citizen is the 14th Amendment.
Now, well, not for him technically. We don't know. We don't know how his background.
There's a possibility.
It's possible.
People he knows.
Sure.
More than likely, someone he knows from his community owe the 14th Amendment their citizenship through generations. Because if it done adopted back then, they're not citizens ever.
Correct.
And who knows? Maybe they leave.
So my first problem
Stephen
is
A. Smith doesn't even live here.
Stephen A. Smith, you aren't technically somebody who should be like really like promoting or influencing politics. Now you can say the same thing about me. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll take that for what it's worth, and I'll stick it in my craw and deal with it. Okay. I don't have an issue with that. But then comes my next issue, and it's every time I see you, Stephen, you are doing something where you're trying to say, well, Donald Trump's not always wrong.
Yeah, he's always trying
Donald Trump seems to always be doing something I like.
Yeah, you can still like me, man.
You can still like me. It's okay. It seems like you're always trying to be friends with MAGA. And listen.
He's always trying to be friends with everyone.
Stephen, me and Jason are very much the guys that are willing to, we talk the trash on the Democrats too.
Yeah.
We are very much willing to give the Donald Trumps and people like that a pass as long as they're doing things on an up and up manner.
Yeah.
He never is. And now with the birthright citizenship, he only wants to do that because they want to denaturalize citizenship. You see, I need Stephen A. Smith to go look up remigration, so he understands where birthright citizenship. See, Stephen A. Smith, he don't believe in all that hubba bubba jibba job or whatever that is about some Project 2025. He don't care about all that.
Someone from the neighborhood needs to sit him down.
I'm just saying, he don't care about all that.
Speak to him.
He doesn't care about all that. What he cares about is Donald Trump isn't always wrong, and he can't always be wrong. And it's like Donald Trump can be wrong a lot.
Like Donald Trump was literally doing it for racist reasons. There's no good reason for this.
Now I understand Stephen A's argument that he makes in the video that we played.
He makes it sound like 50 million people have come here and had 100 million kids.
Right, and he makes it sound like there's this concerted effort by thousands and thousands and thousands of Mexicans
only people who've come here and settled can have a kid.
This is the best part. He thinks that there's bunches and bunches of Mexicans from all over the country, all over their country, the country of Mexico, right? They don't know each other. They find a way to pair up illegally, cross the border illegally, and then decide.
Then get an apartment, get married, and then have kids. No.
Then decide once they get here, now we're here, we can have sex and have a child.
Yeah, and that child will be a citizen, and we'll go away.
But we'll stay here illegally and put ourselves at tons of risk. Right. No, that's not how it works. Right. Families are families. Like, if two people are together and they want to be together for the kids, and they buy a house and they start working for the local school district, right? Yeah. They might be doing landscaping. They could be working as a para, possibly. We don't know what the job could be. It could be a local banker. We don't know. I'm just saying they could do a lot of different jobs and make money and pay taxes and raise their children, and they're not this detriment to society. In fact, you know what they might do, Stephen A. Smith? They might buy tickets to the Knicks basketball game and go watch the Knicks play because you love the Knicks so much and Jalen Brunson.
They think all these Mexicans and foreigners know our Constitution so well. Like, Donald Trump doesn't even know our Constitution. You think all these people know exactly that, if you go there and your baby's born there, it's a citizen.
Oh, he's not joking, ladies and gentlemen.
About that.
He's not joking, ladies and gentlemen.
They're thinking about maybe making a way in life.
When he said that American Donald Trump, the president of the United States, doesn't know the Constitution himself.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know American history.
Do you know what happened this week, ladies and gentlemen? Donald Trump went to sit in front of the Supreme Court of the United States to hear about the birthright citizenship situation that we are talking about right now with Stephen A. Smith on the show. And after about an hour of sitting there and listening to them not defend his loyalist agenda and listening to the Supreme Court justices argue that the Constitution hasn't changed even though the times have changed.
No.
They didn't like that they were getting shut down on birthright. So he got up and made a big spectacle and left. And we know that it's because he got his ego bruised.
Yes.
And he can't do nothing about it, and he's mad. He's ranting behind his
presence.
He's got to be ranting, dude.
The only two he controls are the two most corrupt.
Could you imagine the yelling at his office the minute he got back after he left the Supreme Court? Like just the constant screaming that was coming from that room.
I'll never understand people like in their 40s or our age who do these things. Donald Trump's almost 80. He's not going to be around very much longer. But you will be. you're going to have to live with this. You're going to have to live with your role in this and what happens because of you and things you've done and allowed to happen and that will continue to happen because those people will still be in place. If he dies tomorrow, J.D. Vance will be president for 2 more years. And if he runs, like, all this is going to continue to happen because of all you guys. You guys did this. Right? And now they have to live here too. They have to get gas. They have to do that. They have to have their Medicare, Medicaid, health care, child care cut because we got to pay for wars. We got to pay for wars and protection of our country.
That's right.
Good job, everyone.
If you have or haven't heard, ladies and gentlemen, one person definitely is no longer a part of Donald Trump's orbit. That would be one Pam Bondi. And Pam Bondi's humiliation grows as it's revealed that she begged Trump not to fire her as Attorney General. That's right. But he did it anyway, and he threw her under the bus, Jay. This is exactly what this monster deserves. According to a new report from the Daily Mail, Bondi begged for Trump to let her keep her job during an explosive showdown at the White House. He informed her of her firing shortly before his Iran war speech this past week. And now that was really weird because I was in the middle of reading something and my entire screen decided, oh, it's nighttime. We want to go to a dark screen behind you. And then we want to like exit out of everything you're doing just to do this one thing. Now, this all happened during that explosive showdown at the White House. He informed her of her firing shortly before the Iran war speech yesterday. Upon hearing the news, she began pleading for mercy, but Trump remained firm.
You know, when she was testifying at that, was a House hearing or whatever, she sounded like a drunk teenager being interrogated by her parents.
Yes.
She's just like, what are you talking about? You don't do this.
It's 50,000.
You don't do it. What are you looking at? It's like, oh, Lord.
She was unhappy and tried to change his mind, a source told the Daily Mail. Reportedly, Trump fired Bondi in part because he believes that she leaked the information to the Democratic congressman and current California gubernatorial candidate Eric Swalwell about the FBI's plans to release documents connected to his relationship with an alleged Chinese spy. Once again, Trump is abusing the powers of the Justice Department.
Of course he is.
To target his political enemies. She's intervening in those matters. The White House wasn't pleased she was intervening due to her personal friendships with Swalwell, the source claimed. The Mail did not have further information on the interpersonal dynamics, but reported that Bondi and Swalwell supposedly have a friendly relationship. It's worth noting that Swalwell has publicly criticized Bondi in the past. And this all has played out against the backdrop of this Jeffrey Epstein scandal. You know, ladies and gentlemen, like,
you know what,
where Bondi behaved like a good MAGA foot soldier. Don't forget that. Helped the cover-up. She helped that cover-up.
I don't know if we'll ever find out. Maybe when he dies. But my guess is he asked her to break the law, and she probably said no and got fired. Like, and she probably did it a while back. He probably told her to destroy those files.
Now,
and she probably told him, I can't. You know, they're in here, they're documented.
Now, there's one thing I want that I've been seeing on the internet lately, and Jason, you can back me up on this if you want to be a part of it or not. Once you hear my statement, you tell me where you stand.
I got you.
I've been hearing a lot of people laying blame at the feet of the wrong places and the wrong things along this path. And one of those things where blame has been laid, where I feel in an incredible way, has been, well, at the feet of the MAGA voter. And I'll tell you why. You see, I can forgive a MAGA voter because I can go, you were too dumb to know, or you couldn't figure so therefore you just didn't know the answer. You couldn't see the forest through the trees.
I got you.
And I don't know. I don't know how I want to phrase it properly. You know what? Maybe, ladies and gentlemen, maybe I was just a little ahead of myself. Maybe this isn't the right way or time to phrase this statement because I don't want to make anybody angry. We only got a couple seconds here before we hit the break.
I get where you're going.
Hold on, Jay. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back. I'll formulate. We'll be back right after this.
Watching me.
Welcome back into The Left Hook. Mark Bland, Jason Kull, over there.
Yeah,
doing his thing. This guy over there. This guy.
So
this guy's doing his thing. I don't know what this guy's here for.
We should do a show where we only can talk like Adam Sandler.
There you go. Welcome back to the show. Oh, during the break, I wanted to, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say is, and I didn't explain it properly before we went to break. There's a lot of crime that has happened with the Donald Trump presidency, and it's very blatant. Like, we were talking about the Pam Bondi situation before we went to break, and it's been reported that Trump has grown quite frustrated with the fact that Pam Bondi isn't doing the lawfare, as we were discussing.
Or failing at it.
Or failing at it.
But both, probably both.
The idea of going after his adversaries.
Yes.
That point.
Yes.
And he's not getting it done fast enough. She's not jumping like he's wanting her to. And so it's blatant criminal acts at this point. It's not just a story that you might have heard. It could be real. No. It's like blatant criminal cover-ups of great and criminal things and war crimes and other things.
Yeah.
And it's all right there in front of your face. And so when you hear from the other side, because we're the liberals, we're the moderates, we're the people in the middle and to the left.
Yep.
You hear that Nick Fuentes, they want to kill us. They want to kill us in our house, stuff like this. He's kind of right, but not in the same way. I was talking about the leniency earlier. Let me formulate this all into one big nice bow now.
Yeah, want to and will
that
do.
That leniency has gone away. Donald Trump has shown with his executive orders and his bullying that there is no care for how the government operates against the people of the United States government. So now liberals and Democrats know that those things can be done and used if they want to themselves. Now, would they typically do that? No, that's not who they are. But I will say this, after we watched them get prosecuted for the January 6th stuff and then pardoned and allowed to get out, and then half of them had pedophile backgrounds and all got put back in jail anyway, every single one of them.
Like one guy, life
what
in prison
we realized is
ago.
The crimes then were the same as the crimes now. And so Donald Trump commits legitimate crimes. He supports and defends people that commit legitimate crimes. So, yes, when the Democrats or the other powers that be get into office and it's not the conservatives of any sort, let me tell you, yes, Pam Bondi's going to jail. Yes, Kash Patel. Yes, they're all going to jail. And they will stay in jail.
You don't even know what they've done.
No, it's happening. So when they say they're coming after him, yeah, they're coming after you. This time to lock and throw the key completely away. There will be no leniency anymore. You guys wanted laws and rules and them to be enforced to the T and to the hilt. No brown people in this birthright citizen country. You got it, MFer. You got it. So, yes, when we get back into power, you can count on that pendulum swinging so hard back that heads might roll. They might roll.
And you know who they're doing it for and they're going to end up in jail for? A man who, I think last week we had our final, this encompasses his entire presidency. They're talking about the war in Iran and he stops them so we can break out these humongous artist renditions of what his ballroom's going to look like next to the White House. They were huge. They were like 3 feet long.
They were gorgeous. They were gorgeous. They were gorgeous.
They're asking him about war, where military service members have died. And he goes, yeah. But look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This isn't even built yet.
Bro.
A judge told me I can't even do this, but I made these drawings because I'm insane.
I love this moment because Charlie Kirk is standing over my shoulder right now, laughing at the top of his lungs at Jason's moment because he's like, oh yeah, I remember I died the day before. And they asked him about me, and he's like, yeah, but check out the East Wing.
Ballroom. That sucks about Charlie.
Ballroom. Charlie. Who cares about Charlie?
Ballroom. Oh, my God. You know, I was looking up the other day real quick before we
Do you see how funny he is to us, ladies and gentlemen? Like, we laugh on the air live about your president of the United States. Listen to us jovially laughing about him, not cracking jokes. We're laughing at the things that he's doing and the things that happen around him.
I was going to send this to you privately in a couple of Facebook message groups we have.
Okay, all right.
So I was looking at what presidential libraries have accurate, detailed replicas of their Oval Offices, and there's about 7 that do.
Okay.
And I was looking at them, and it was like, this is what their Oval Office looked like during their term.
Okay.
And it was, or terms of whatever. And they were like normal. And then I thought, my God, someone needs to come and look at this and then look at what Donald Trump has done to the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Like, look at how like stately and like exquisite and wonderful that the Oval Office looks like. It just looks professional. And then his is everything's gold, and there's gold all over the place.
Now, I am not one to defend Donald Trump very often.
Boy.
I'm not one to do that. But I will go down this road.
Yes.
When you're rich,
Yeah.
and people know you're rich,
They associate with gold.
they come for money.
Yeah.
And when people are constantly coming for money, the relationship is mostly based on that transactional aspect, that quid pro quo that he loves. Now, he loves that aspect, but what you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that that aspect's very cold. That's ones and zeros that just transmit through a wire.
Yeah.
That's not love and affection. That's not care. That's not an appreciation or a thank you. And those things are not readily thrown around very easily by human beings. Mm-hmm. Especially when you're borrowing money you don't want to pay back, you'll very quickly become hard to find, hard to hear from. Like, Donald Trump has probably dealt with that a lot in his life. And that's going to make you a very bitter, angry person. And so you're going to feel that everyone around you at all times is this transactional type person because that's all you do is handle transactional moves.
Yeah.
And so when these types of things pop up, like we're talking about, you like with the ballroom and things like that, you don't know anything other than the transactional value. Like the only reason I'm here is because you pay me to be president. That's my transactional value. I've got to put up a ballroom so that you're impressed with it, or else I'm not going to be allowed to continue. But think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Without Congress's approval, he destroyed your White House.
Yeah, and now
it literally looks half the size and the look.
A judge.
Like literally, do you not like literally? It's gone, guys. It's gone. Your White House is gone. The way it's always looked, it's gone. You don't understand. This is Ford's theater. This is everyone running in a million different directions going,
what happened
he's
here?
dead. Like, it happened. He's not alive anymore. Like, the dude came to see a play and it's over. Like, this is a done situation. And everyone's running. And Pam Bondi now is begging for a job to be. Please. Christy Noem. Please.
That plane with a bed in it.
Please, I've got a husband.
My husband's super weird.
My husband's a really weird guy. He loves to dress in girl stuff.
Pays thousands of dollars to dominatrix women online to yell at him about being an ugly woman. You know what? How about this? How likely is this? If Donald Trump wasn't a narcissist, but instead was a sociopath, he would probably already be in prison because he would have killed somebody. But because he's a narcissist and cares about what people think.
It's just because he's president. That's all the only reason he wanted presidency. Yeah. If he wasn't going to be president, he was going to be in jail, guys. Like, he'd be in prison right now. We all know this. The 34 felony convictions, it was done.
Right? And the documents, the overturning the election.
America, you failed. You allowed someone to get away with it, and then you complained about how the laws weren't followed while you were the one letting them get away with it, and you voted for it. You literally raised your hand when they said, do you think this is okay? Yes, I do.
Yeah, now gas is $4 and he's hiding the Epstein files from you.
That's right. Your gas is really expensive. Joe Biden gas wasn't this expensive.
Yeah, where's all the I did it stickers?
Wait, you know what? You know what I wish I had? Joe Biden prices back. That's what I wish.
Give me some of that Joe Biden.
I wish I had Biden inflation is what I wish I had right now. Because Biden inflation had gas at about 40 cents cheaper.
Yeah,
and my eggs were about the same price. Oh, look at that. Nothing changed there. Because he never got the egg price down. He never got any of that stuff down. He never fixed any of it. He went to a war with Iran, and he went and did stuff with Venezuela, and nothing that had to do with your country. He threw, you know what he did do that we are proud of, ladies and gentlemen? And it was a big win this past week. And I am happy that it happened. Finally, Donald Trump and Mike Johnson were defeated. They had to put their tail between their legs because TSA did get funded.
Yeah.
The Department of Homeland Security's problems with the airports and TSA going away simply because the funding is back. That's right. The Democrats' holdout worked. It was able to get TSA funded and ICE not funded at the levels it's being funded now. It's only allowing them to be funded at the levels they were previously being funded at. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? The Democrats do work. They get things done. They're not even the power on Capitol Hill right now, and they're able to do holdouts and things that make these things viable. But it's us. We have to not want him to screw over our Medicare, our Medicaid, this or that. But it is a big win. Listen, I'll give it up to him. Jason Kull, let's give him a little round of applause. Yeah, congratulations.
Good job, guys.
Good job, guys. I want to see more of that because he shouldn't be breaking the ballroom and making all that happen. Like, there shouldn't be any destroying of any buildings. There shouldn't be any laws being changed without Congress's... And there shouldn't be wars being started without Congress. Oh, but it wasn't a war. It was just a skirmish, and we don't say war. We don't do this. Shut up.
Tell it to Israel.
Stupid. Yeah, we still got that part going on. Yeah, are they? Because if he drops the ball and walks away completely, imagine what will happen then.
Yeah.
They're already getting smoked.
Like if we obliterated their
capabilities, we should be.
Why did we invade them now?
If we had their capabilities completely destroyed, then there's nothing to discuss. We've got warheads and weapons, and you have nothing. You brought a knife to a gunfight, and unfortunately, we've got guns, and we will then take the Strait of Hormuz and control it. But that's not what happened, is it, ladies and gentlemen? Nope, we're still fighting with Iran and negotiating with the losers. You don't negotiate with losers. We talked about that on the last show, the Straight Mess Show. Literally, guys. It's out of control.
I think
it's stupid.
It's becoming clear that he's going to put troops in, and that's going to be unfortunate.
All right. A startup called Reflect Orbital is asking for approval to launch space mirrors, Jason, that could bounce sunlight back to Earth after dark. They say all you need to do is open up an app, drop a pin, and sunlight will arrive at your location in 30 seconds.
I'm sure it's super safe. And
isn't that crazy? Ladies and gentlemen, no. I want everybody to pay attention. Because I did say this is my birthday show.
How much that is.
This is my birthday show. I turned 50 years old.
I want to turn, you know what, for your birthday, let's turn your backyard light from 2 until 2:30.
But see, that's the point, Jason. We have gotten so good with our technologies and what we're able to do. And we've gotten the world so accustomed to doing stuff through apps on their phones so they can get things that now we can even offer up sunlight whenever you want it, because the other side of the Earth has satellites with retractable mirrors, and the sun just shoots it down to the Does
it get more expensive the later it goes away from where you're at?
I don't know. No, it doesn't. That wouldn't matter because I've got satellites across the entire Earth. As soon as it turns on this side, I've got them on that side anyway.
My God, what an ingenious thing to think of.
That's what I'm saying.
If you could do this and suddenly it's actually not as expensive as you think.
If we could go one step further, if I can get sunlight anywhere on the Earth with an app at any time, I can definitely find a way to get the Kryptonian sun to spotlight Superman.
Spotlight me!
Anywhere on the Earth whenever I need it, so I can be the new Lex Luthor.
You know, like, what? would you pay like $200 to have like a 2-hour party in your backyard? I bet.
Why not? I bet you that'd be fun. I bet it's thousands. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to get out of here. Thank you so much, Jason, for being on this birthday show. I appreciate it. Check us out at markbland.net. That's old episodes, new episodes, and everything in between. We appreciate all of you. Make sure you see us next time on the show.